Get him out of here.
How does that not indicate to you, like, hey, sometimes, like, these prospects are awesome?
Donald, get back. They snatched that chain, boy. Get back. What's y'all gonna do about it? Popeye snatched that chain. Get back. We want that snack wrap. They got 3 flavors. Y'all got 1. Get back.
Hey, everybody. Welcome into the Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network. Ryan Tyler, Jack O'Rourke, Nick Pinot, Rob Watson, and it's a FAF day. FAF is on the bump as we break out the Pentabox on this beautiful Wednesday, July 2nd. It is 10:03 Eastern Time, fellas. What is going on?
Not too much, guys. I mean, I'm excited. I think we're hoping to get the guards back in the win column for the first time in what seems like forever. A couple of huge things going on in basketball. Sophie Cunningham tried to break the internet. We got Joey Faf Day. I mean, what else could you ask for?
Faf, what's up, dude?
Not much, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Pretty good. I'm excited to be here. Talk some ball today. Guards are sucking, but that's all right.
Rob, what's up, dude?
I'm glad to be living in the great city of Cleveland and not Cincinnati. More on that later.
Nick, what's up, brother?
What's up, guys?
Hey, Nick.
How's your Wednesday going so far?
Happy Wednesday.
Well, guys, what do you say we break right into the news?
Let's get it. Let's get it.
Ty Jerome yesterday, a little heartfelt message on his Instagram, guys. Quote, Cleveland this past year will always hold a special place in my heart. Although I was never presented the option of returning, nor did last season end how I wanted to, I will never forget all this year brought. Guys, Ty Jerome turned quickly into a fan favorite after he got healthy and absolutely balled out this year in the regular season at least. Candidate for 6th man of the year. A lot of people in Cleveland thought he should have won it, but Peyton Pritchard got that award. How do we feel about the Cavs not offering Ty Jerome a chance to return to the Cleveland Cavaliers this season?
So yesterday I mentioned this specifically when I was talking about him getting benched in the playoffs. I thought that was a really that was very telling because regardless, we were thin, we had people injured, and he was someone that could provide offense, and he had been so good all year that the benching really meant to me that he was doing something so absurd that the coach did not like at all, and that was more of a punishment. So with Kenny going to do that and then us going and getting a point guard who honestly has a completely different play style than Ty Jerome, I felt like they obviously knew right off the bat, Kenny must have been adamant about it, that they wanted to go in a different direction. And that's why they didn't even come to him with a contract, man. It sucks because he was a great player for us last year, but obviously the team wants to do something different.
This might be too far down a rabbit hole, but that kind of got my mind jogged a bit on the fact that, like, if Darius Garland was allegedly what was going to be going back for Kevin Durant the other way, you would think that even if Ty Jerome would have then been the option at point guard, which at that point they would have at least started preliminary talks with him, right, about a contract, if they were going to even consider having Garland go for KD. So, like, I'm just very curious, like, overall what their thoughts were on Ty Jerome and if Ty Jerome would have even been the starting point guard had they traded Darius Garland.
That's a good thought. Nick, how you feel about Ty Jerome?
Yeah, man, I'm with Rob. I think that, like, because I saw there were a lot of think pieces going on last night, you know, about the organization and about prioritizing Sam Merrill over Ty Jerome. But I really do think that this is just an identity shift for our Cavs. You guys probably saw that clip from the Mind of the Game podcast with Steve Nash, LeBron, and Kevin Durant was a special guest, and KD was talking about how the way to beat the Cavs throughout the entire season was to attack Darius Garland. That in the modern NBA, there's no real room for small, undersized guards because you could pick on those type of players defensively. Well, Ty Jerome kind of fit that same build. You know, he wasn't the necessarily biggest guy. He was a good, scrappy team defender, but he wasn't a lockdown, you know, perimeter defender like what Lonzo Ball is going to give the Cavs. So I really think that this is just a change in identity. I don't think this is a direct shot. I don't really even know that there was something more going on behind the scenes other than the Cavs decided that it was just time to go in a different direction. They obviously seem at least a little bit willing to run back this core four. So if you're going to run back the core four, you got to make changes elsewhere. And this time it happened to be Ty Jerome, who, by the way, like for all the outrage out there, like he was really bad in the playoffs.
He was.
Faf, you're a known Ty Jerome truther. We're almost, 48 hours removed from Ty Jerome not being on the Cleveland Cavaliers anymore. How are the emotions going? How are you handling the news?
You know, I knew he probably wasn't going to come back, and I understood that. And then we re-signed Merrill, and I knew he wasn't coming back. We're going to prioritize Merrill. But, you know, it just hurts a little bit. I'm sad. He gave us a great regular season. Not very good in the playoffs, but I'm excited to see him at Memphis, you know.
Joey, where does he rank amongst your favorite Cavs backup point guards of all time?
Probably one. I don't have
over Delhi?
Oh, yeah.
Wow, that's a hot take after 1 year.
Here's something interesting though. And this goes back to Jack talking about them being willing to trade Darius Garland, and then LeBron and them talking about how that's the known weakness across the league. I think that we still are up for the big move. I've been saying this. We made another great signing yesterday. Don't want to take anything away from him. We'll talk about that in a few. But I seriously think there's another big move to be made because they're trying to change up the team. And to the point of everyone now knowing that DG is a weakness, and you're getting the exact opposite in a point guard in Lonzo Ball, someone who's about 6'6" and is going to play great defense and distribute the ball. I think there's something else they're trying to work on doing, and I think the move is LeBron. They might still be in it on Giannis because now the Bucks might be going in a different direction, but they made a huge signing yesterday. The Cavs need to make a splash, and they've made 2 solid pickups, but they're not exactly splashy. So for this offseason to all come together, there still needs to be one great move to come before it's over.
Well, out goes Ty Jerome, in comes Patrick Starr, also known as Larry Nance Jr., 32-year-old, played for the Atlanta Hawks last season, averaged 8.5 points, 4.3 rebounds, 1.6 assists, although he sustained a non-displaced fracture in his right knee in early February and didn't play for the rest of that season, guys. But we get some front court depth here. Larry Nance obviously will play behind Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. Back in his city of Cleveland, Larry Nance Jr. is a Cavalier once again.
Kind of seems, I saw a nice tweet from your boy Ryan Matt Fontana. He's almost just like a uber improvement to Dean Wade in a bunch of ways in terms of like shooting the ball offensively. He's a better 3-point shooter, and like, yeah, I mean, it's critical to have rebounding down low as well. So I mean, he'll be huge.
To me, Larry Nance and Dean Wade aren't even in the same stratosphere. Nance is a way better player. Obviously, been asking for the backup big. Me and Nick were calling for Al Horford yesterday. This is kind of like I won't compare the two as players, but it's the same kind of deal, same role, just a little bit of a different version. He's younger though, more athletic. Hopefully he recovers from the knee injury well, and he could come and do great things for us. But great fit, played here before. City will love him. We'll play inspired. No complaints about Larry Nance's signing out.
I think also Larry Nance Jr. is a little bit more of an evolved version now than what he was when he played for the Cavs the first time.
Way better
it was
shooter.
Whenever he hit, whenever he would shoot a 3 on the Cavs the first time, it was kind of like a gimmick. But now he's really developed the outside game a little bit better. I'm not trying to say that he's, Kevin Love or like Spencer Hawes back in the day where it seemed automatic.
Spencer Hawes.
Good pull.
I'm excited to have Larry back. I think this will, too many times throughout the regular season, there was no answer at backup. Evan or Jarrett, Kenny did a good job kind of staggering their minutes, but they had no real backup. Like Tristan Thompson, they pulled off the ESPN set. So you knew what you were getting there. And like, I love Double T, but his best days are certainly behind him. So I do think this is another upgrade for the Cavs. But like we're all saying, this is another small move.
Well, outside of the Cavaliers, other big news in NBA free agency yesterday, Miles Turner is signing with the Milwaukee Bucks. Obviously, the big part of the Indiana Pacers, the reason why they were in the NBA Finals this season. However, the news came directly after the Bucks are waiving Damian Lillard. Might have seemed like a surprise, but if you read between the lines, maybe not so much. Lillard, of course, tore his Achilles. The Bucks still own $113 million. Originally, they were set to pay out over the next 2 seasons, but by stretching the contract, Milwaukee's going to Bobby Bonilla this thing, pay him out over the next 5 years. Obviously, Brook Lopez departed from the Bucks to sign with the Clippers. Miles Turner comes in and immediately fills that center role for the Milwaukee Bucks.
Ryan, the millisecond that Jimmy Haslam finishes paying off the new dome that we have going up here in Brook Park, he's going to figure out a way to keep Achilles put together.
Banner day for Haslam.
He is, dude. I mean, boy, think about it. How much money is he paying Deshaun Watson and Damian Lillard to not play their sport?
I saw a tweet. It was like, so now Jimmy Haslam can cut a guy when he has an Achilles tear.
Yeah, now there's a precedent. Hey, bro, I know another guy rehabbing from a torn Achilles.
Two torn Achilles. Nick, the Milwaukee Bucks are getting better. The East is getting better as a whole. How do you view the signing?
Yeah, I'm still trying to monitor what's going on with Giannis in Milwaukee because, I think a lot of people had just assumed, myself included, that when this move went down, Miles Turner gets, another bona fide all-star in there, a legitimate center, probably the best true center that Giannis has ever played with. But we, find out from Chris Haynes, who has, incredibly reliable sources in Giannis Antetokounmpo's camp, that he was upset about the cutting and the release of Damian Lillard. So it almost feels like to me now that Giannis is looking for reasons to be upset with Milwaukee. I've seen that movie play out in the NBA before where guys are nitpicking moves and kind of just trying to find any way that they can to be out. So like while Milwaukee is a better team today, yes, with Giannis and Miles Turner and without Damian Lillard, there are questions about if Giannis stays, if he goes, and could we hit a full rebuild? If he does, that's what they got to do is trade him for a lot of first round picks, young players, and maybe Milwaukee heads towards a rebuild.
Yeah, I mean, the roster, while Miles Turner is a great pickup, it's still extremely mid, especially now that you release Damian Lillard. I mean, you got Kevin Porter Jr., Gary Trent Jr., and Kyle Kuzma are your next 3 best players. So, I mean, it's not a lot going on out there, and I don't know if they have the flexibility to really make any moves to really get them to that next spot. I don't know. I hinted about how Drew Holiday definitely wants out of Portland. He said he wasn't going to play there. There could be a return there, but they're going to have to give up some stuff to get him back. Even in that case, still, it's a little bit dodgy. They really just miss the fact that they've let go of so many people that were a part of that championship core for no reason in sorts. Like, they should have never got rid of Drew in the first place or Chris Middleton, but they are where they are now. I agree with Nick. I think Giannis wants to leave. When you're a player, he liked Dame and he respects him as a player. You never like to see that the team just up and releases him. Oh, you're hurt. You mean nothing to us. Just go ahead and go sit down. So I can see if he's starting to react that way to things, the trust in the organization is going to fall through soon.
From what I understood in reading articles is that Damian Lillard was fine with this. It gives him an opportunity to go back to Portland, be around his family, rehab, and then allows him to sign with a team of his choice when he's healthy. So I think, Giannis is probably just picking things to be mad about for the Bucks. What's your tinfoil, John?
Okay, so Rob, you talked about it earlier. We're not done yet. There's got to be a splash move, right? So when you go out and get LeBron, you're going to have to move on from Garland. Oh, we don't know if we can fully trust Lonzo Ball to stay healthy and play 82 games. What's a great insurance policy? Damian Lillard for $1 million to come back and play the playoffs and run it back with LeBron, Mobley, and Spida.
That is a wild conspiracy.
You never know.
All right, Jack, before we take our first break, would you like to say anything to Red Panda, who suffered an injury?
Yeah, I mean, this is going like ridiculously viral on the internet right now. I feel terrible for Red Panda. I don't know have you guys seen Red Panda in person before?
I have.
So not. Joey was unaware. So for people who are unaware, Red Panda is this insane, probably the greatest athlete of our generation. So she gets up on a unicycle and has like probably 14 to 15 pieces of fine china and just like flips it up onto her head just over and over again. Yeah, great song, Ryan. Flips it up over and over again onto her head. Never seems to mess it up, as you pointed out before the show. Rob, did you just watch it? Oh no.
Was it a ACL thing, we think, or
she goes down and definitely favors her leg. Yeah.
Oh man.
But it was kind of sad because it was kind of like not funny. Funny is the wrong word, but like you're used to seeing people go down on an NBA court and like grab at or favor a leg, and it's just so odd to see. Like usually you see an NBA player in a jersey, and no, it's Red Panda. So best recoveries to Red Panda.
Well, man, what's tough about this is now like the washed narrative is gonna start to come.
Oh, you think?
Will she ever be the same?
No, she messed up one time out of 1,000.
But it's a big injury.
She might get the yips though, because now next time you go, you're gonna be like wobbling and stuff. Like I had never seen her mess up. She's been doing this for years, and now an injury, she may never be the same. Yep. It may be.
I was at the Cavs game when Donovan Mitchell got in the fight with Desmond Bane, and she did the halftime show that day, and it was incredible. Joey, if you had to do a halftime show, what would you do for your performance? Like if they put you on the spot, gave you $500, go entertain the crowd.
Probably just start throwing half quarters. I mean,
are you making?
I don't have any other skills really. What?
How many shots to make one half quarter?
5.
1.
I can do it in 5 shots.
You making that in?
Yeah.
Got you, big bro.
All right, prayers up to Red Panda, the GOAT. Hopefully she has as fast as speedy recovery. We got to take our first break. When we get back, Sophie Cunningham taking the world by storm, calling out Cleveland. Well, she thought. She said Cincinnati, actually, as the WNBA looks to expand to cities in 2028, 29, and 2030, starting with Cleveland. We'll talk about that when we get back on The Big Factor. everybody, welcome back to the Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network. Ryan Tyler, Jack O'Rourke, Nick Padone, Rob Watson, and Mr. Joey Pfaff. Guys, before we dive into this, I got to tell you about our friends at Fairway Ford. Fairway Ford comes, why do I keep saying comes in just 2 flavors, guys? This is trucks, not beer.
No frills.
Fairway Ford comes in 500 flavors, guys. No, Fairway Ford, the largest inventory of new Ford trucks and Super Duty. Ford F-150s and Super Duty trucks, I should say. Employee pricing for everybody. You pay less than what they pay. Pre-tariff pricing on all Fords. Over 500 vehicles in stock. There's never been a better time to buy and find your dream vehicle. Canfield, Ohio, a short drive. Literally will save you thousands of dollars on your new ride. Fairway Ford, the largest inventory of new Ford trucks, the lowest pricing and same hometown level of service. Scan that QR code now or go give their website a visit, fairwayfordohio.com. Again, that's fairwayfordohio.com. Guys, so
Ryan, little bit of breaking news before we get into Sophie Cunningham.
Please.
The Diddy verdicts are in. They're about to be read.
He definitely did.
I wonder what that outcome should be. Huh?
They're about
a little.
Anyone want to bet on
that guy? We'll get to the Harbaugh segment in a little bit, but first we'll talk about Sophie Cunningham because she took the world by storm, guys, on her comments about the WNBA coming to Cleveland in 2028. She seems to think that there's not much to do in Cleveland, and I'll play the video for you guys so we can see this thing.
It's way more helpful. You just get more perks, more opportunities, and so I get that aspect. But I also think that you want to listen to your players too. Like, where do they want to play? Where are they going to get excited to play and draw fans? And I do think that Miami would have been a great one. Like, everyone loves Florida. Nashville is an amazing city. Kansas City, amazing opportunity. There's a huge arena downtown that no one's using, and I think that the Women's Soccer League is showing that, like, people draw, and so I'm not so sure what the thought process is there. But at the end of the day, you also want to make sure that you're not expanding our league too fast. I think that's also another thing, that you don't want teams to totally dominate and then have teams that aren't. And so I just think that it's kind of a hard decision-making situation. But man, I don't know how excited people are to be going to Detroit or Cincinnati.
I don't know how excited people are to go to Detroit or Cincinnati. Obviously, that's what she said, but she meant Detroit or Cleveland. Clearly, she doesn't know the spirit and how much sports mean here in Cleveland. I don't even know if she was aware that the Rockers were in Cleveland before, and obviously they're set to come back, whether it's named the Rockets or not. The Currents, I saw was a popular name floating around. Shout out Jack, that graphic you made on
Ride the Wave.
Instagram. But Sophie Cunningham clearly either not a fan or just ignorant about the city of Cleveland and how much basketball means to this city.
Overall, just the history of the WNBA as well. The Detroit Shock were 3-time WNBA champions before they were disbanded back in the day, they were disbanded in 2009. And overall, just like thinking about it as like places you just want to go party, I think was just a little weird. It's the fact that this league has a chance to grow. There's a star on your team that's helping just help the league reach new heights, and they're bringing 3 new teams. You just should be happy about that overall. I feel like regardless, like you're there to play basketball. It's not about like where I could go and have fun. Like the fans will come, especially if there's a good product on the court. And then I feel like it's a bad look for the league. They announced a huge announcement, and you can't even name the right cities for where the places are going. To me, it's crazy, especially I didn't know about the 3rd team, but 2 places that had WNBA teams in the past as well is just a little odd to me.
Yeah, what's tough about this is a classic case of the WNBA unable to get out of their own way. Like Sophie Cunningham, get a grip. You play in a league that loses $50 million per year. Think about that. Like if Big Play lost $50 million a year, none of us would be doing the Big Factor right now. I'll tell you right that. So Sophie, instead of trying to pick out Nashville and Miami and places where you just want to have fun with your friends, like maybe get a little bit of an idea that this is a job and you wouldn't really be doing this job if it wasn't subsidized by the NBA. So it's just a complete warped perception of how things are. And, you hate to say should be appreciative, she should be appreciative that the league is growing because like she's allowed to have her own opinions. But at the same time, like before you get on camera and just start yapping to reporters, you should probably have your facts straight about the geography of the expansion. Like Cincinnati and Cleveland are 4 hours away. And let me check my notes here. Sophie Cunningham plays basketball in Indianapolis.
It's not exactly
I'd rather
the most
live in
buzzing
Cleveland.
city ever.
I've been to Indianapolis multiple times. Cleveland is a way better city. Also, Sophie Cunningham is from Missouri.
Jeez.
The show me state.
Like, what are we doing here?
Y'all not hip to Gary, Indiana, clearly.
I have
Shit goes down in Gary.
Guys, I got so mad about this, and I think Nick hit it on the head perfectly when he started to talk about the fact of getting in your own way with the WNBA. I think this happens all the time with little stuff like this, and it makes no sense entirely. Like, it starts with like the way that I would say borderline the bullying of other players in the league towards Caitlin Clark, when Caitlin Clark basically pays some of their salaries, to be quite frank,
Jack,
you know, like if we're going to be honest, that's what's happening out there, you know, I mean, so I don't know. And Sophie Cunningham, like, it doesn't make sense. Like, when your league is so small and there's no one in buildings that Caitlin Clark isn't playing in, shouldn't you be doing everything you can to like get like acceptance from fans and like grow the game and stuff? Like, why are you disparaging opposing cities? Like, I saw a video of Kelsey Plum that came out last week where she was outside of the team hotel, right? And she was and people were there to get autographs. Like, 2 people were there to get autographs for your team bus, right? Literally 2 people are there at your team bus to get autographs. Like, went out of their day to get an autograph. And you go, isn't it a little bit weird that you guys are here waiting for autographs? That happens to every, like, look at a video of Michael Jordan. Like, go watch The Last Dance. There's a billion people, kids and adults, outside of every single bus at every single hotel. Like, it's just so stupid how they just, like, they hate their own fans, kind of, and their best player.
Yeah. Shout out Darren Waller, too, by the way, making his return to the NFL.
Yeah,
Ex of
good for
Kelsey
him.
Plum. It seems like they're getting a little big for their britches, guys. Sophie Cunningham, you kind of go viral, obviously, off of the heels of Caitlin Clark. That video comes out where you're defending her, whether that foul was totally uncalled for or not, probably was. But the fact that she's gained so much popularity, and the Indiana Fever as a whole, really, like, social media.
Congrats on the Commissioner's Cup, by
yeah,
the way,
like,
ladies.
she's blown up on social media. Sophie Cunningham has, like, you know, and like, she's a white, blonde, tall, like, she's like exactly like, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people, call it for what it is, will be attracted to that type of player in the WNBA, and I think they're getting a little too big for their britches. In Sophie Cunningham's case, like, to call out, not even get the name right, Cincinnati. Again, the whole thing is you're playing in Indiana. And am I tripping, or she brought up Kansas City? What's the allure in Kansas City?
Well, that's where she's from.
Yeah, she's from.
I mean,
She's
I've been to
so
Kansas
biased.
City. It's a cool city, but it's
alright,
not
but it's
like
just-
any different than Cleveland.
It just
Sophie
came
wants
off
that
as-
barbecue.
It came off as ignorant.
It was
and
super
a little
ignorant. It did.
arrogant because it was just it would have took her 2 seconds to just know for a fact the 3 cities, and then, like, you could build up the league and you could be positive. Like, why say that this is like the first thing you're saying is, oh, well, we don't want this expansion to be bad. Like, expansion is a good thing. There was a young lady from Ohio that was drafted in the 2nd round of the WNBA draft that got cut from a team because there just wasn't enough teams. Cheyenne Sellers, Brad Sellers' daughter, would have been on a team this year. She was a great standout player at Maryland, but there weren't enough roster spots. They're trying to make it so that all the talent could get showcased, regardless if you think, oh, maybe some teams will be bad and some teams will be good. That's sports. Like, an expansion team is going to be at a disadvantage. So it's just, I don't see how the first thing that you're talking about is, oh, who would want to go to Cleveland? Who would want to go to Detroit? Like, there would be more young girls that would get to live out their dream regardless of what city it's in, playing a professional sport. I just don't get it. I thought it was a real bad look for the league, her saying that.
They're talking shit about Cleveland. Stand up.
I mean, yeah, it's crazy. The one thing I actually do want to say is that the Detroit Shock in 2003 set the WNBA single game attendance record, and it still stands today. So Sophia Cunningham, obviously not knowing that,
Non-ball knower.
not knowing the Detroit.
She doesn't care about the legacy of the sport.
Cleveland fans are
history.
obviously going to show up. I don't need to pull up our stats for her, and calling us Cincinnati is just crazy.
Yeah,
Joey,
that's
should we,
outrageous.
should we be
That one-
That's the
STOs?
worst part of
That one.
Yeah,
pissed
like, how
me
you
off.
say the wrong city?
Me and Ryan, that hits harder for me.
Do you
want to
be
going to-
STOs?
What?
Should we be STOs for the new team?
What that mean?
What,
What that mean?
what
Season
I mean,
ticket holders?
Oh,
Jack loves shortening things that nobody knows.
I think that's STH.
Yeah, something like that. By the way, by the way,
STOs.
guys, you said who would want to go to Cleveland? Who? Sophie, you might not have a choice.
Yeah, you're going to be in that
5.5 points
expansion
per
draft,
game,
girl.
4 rebounds, 1 assist.
welcome.
Get ready to learn the West Side market, Sophie. Coming down.
All right, we got to
Forward
take
is beautiful this time of summer.
we got to take another
down
break
in
on the Big Fact. When we get back, Jim Harbaugh and his freaky shit. I guess he knew Matt Weiss what
he
was
knew.
doing, certified, you know
He's
what.
69 guy.
Might be sending him to Alcatraz. We'll talk about that when we get back on the Big Factor.
clap these guys in.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to The Big Factor on the Big Play Sports Network. Ryan Tyler, Jack O'Rourke, Joey Pfaff, Rob Watson, Nick Padone, and our friends at Garage Beer. Garage Beer comes in just 2 flavors, classic light lager as well as that classic lime. No frills, no bitterness, none of that IPA taste. It's just beer the way you want beer to taste, and that's beer-flavored beer. Scan the QR code now or go give their website a visit, drinkgaragebeer.com, to find local retailers who sell garage beer near you. Again, that's drinkgaragebeer.com. All right, guys, Jim Harbaugh is a former Michigan head coach.
Speaking of, did he beat the case?
What?
Whoa.
Not guilty.
On
all accounts?
all accounts?
Of
Some accounts?
The sex trafficking and racketeering and convicted of a prostitution offense.
Diddy's different.
So I guess
them lawyers are OP.
So what were the thousands of bottles of lube for then?
For his baby.
I don't know.
So
There's gonna be a documentary
you're
about
saying
this.
For sure.
so you're
Is
saying
he off scot-free?
That's what I was gonna ask.
I'm trying. I think maybe they're still reading it and the posts are coming out in real time, but the Associated Press is out there.
So I got
he's been
shout
acquitted of-
out Luke Gable here. It appears that a jury has found Diddy guilty only of transportation for prostitution, the less serious charge, not guilty on racketeering, trafficking,
He
transport.
pleaded down.
Or excuse me, he was on
Wow.
guilty, but not guilty on trafficking.
He must
guilty
have
on
sung like a friggin' bird.
Oh,
Yeah,
OP,
right?
OP.
Like that's there's got to be a lot of there's gonna be a whole lot more names coming
A
out
lot of
now.
celebrities in Hollywood sweating right now.
Oh,
I'll tell
yeah.
you that. Get those scumbags in.
Yeah, this was like the Hollywood equivalent of whenever LeBron opts out of the contract before the last year and the free. It sparks everything.
Yeah, that documentary is gonna go absolutely
So
bananas.
what's the sentencing of transportation?
Bro, he's
I mean,
probably
that-
he's probably
Nick,
just
that
gonna be on
can't be light.
probation.
That-
He's probably
that's
gonna be
not-
he's probably just gonna be on probation and house arrest for
Right.
No, they gotta throw the book at you a little bit for transporting prostitution.
I did that shit in GTA. I was fine.
Yo.
All right, we're talking about
I'm with
Jim Harbaugh.
Ryan. You know how these people get off, man. Like nothing's gonna
If
happen.
you're rich, and
That's gotta be 5 years though, right? At least
No.
up to 10 years. So at least a
5 years.
slap on the
5 years with not even an ankle bracelet. They'll just keep him in his house, which I'm sure is bigger than all of our houses combined, and
Can people enter the house? That would be the issue.
have a security
I
guard
don't
out
wanna
in
go to
front
Pitty's-
that half the
Pitty's house.
time is asleep eating donuts. Like that'll be the extent of it.
unreal. All right, guys, let's talk about Jim Harbaugh here. He's joining a list of defendants Friday in a federal lawsuit tied to former assistant coach Matt Weiss, who we sent to Alcatraz, who was accused of hacking into the private accounts of college athletes across the country. The lawsuit alleges that Michigan officials, including Harbaugh, fostered an environment of neglect that allowed Weiss to exploit his position with the football programs. Court documents claim that between December 21st and December 23rd of 2022, a staff member saw Matt Weiss accessing private data belonging to women at Schembechler Hall. The revised lawsuit accuses Harbaugh of fostering a culture within the football program that lacked oversight and failed to protect non-football student athletes. What a surprise here. Football over morality. Again, this is just more of the same that we see pretty much in every case around the world.
Yeah, I mean, it's so beyond messed up. I mean, obviously, we don't need to get into all the details of what Matt Weiss did and like all the perverted, crude things that went on with that.
You
but
gotta be so horny, bro, to be doing all that.
I mean, I would call it worse words than that. But I mean, with Harbaugh, it's kind of like Joe Paterno in a way, where like you knew
Joe
and you
Pa.
didn't do anything. Like, I mean, obviously, what Joe Paterno's assistant Jerry Sandusky was doing, like, probably was worse because there's physical stuff going on there, but like if you have to say something, and you kept him around and you lost the national semifinal. He left after that, so like there is a little bit of good karma in the fact that I guess they didn't win with him, but I mean it's terrible. And you got to think, I think there's 6 like top class level violations against Michigan now, so you got to think like they're going to throw the book at someone or something eventually here soon. I don't know if it's going to be a death penalty, but there's going to be more stuff coming down, I think.
Should they just blow up the university?
Oh, so I don't know. So there's about 40,000 civilians.
Just
So
get
they
them out
might.
and then nuke it.
Okay. All right. Well, if they do that first, then yeah, let's. We going to come and blow Ann Arbor up.
I mean, there's a reason he's in Alcatraz, right? Like,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
early
speaking
on
of.
this.
By the way, with him and Zion, we're really good at like the early throwouts too. I mean, we call them Friday allegations, but we're shooting well.
We've kind of been slacking, but we have 5 Alcatraz inmates. Matt Weiss, Jim Harbaugh is now in Alcatraz. Jared Allen, Perry the Pelican, and Adam Silver are in Big Factor Alcatraz.
Well, Zion can go up for him now.
Did we have
safely.
Zion in?
Well, no, I wanted to put Zion in, but you guys said no, we got to put the mascot in because Zion's still playing. He shouldn't go to Alcatraz. But then it came out that Zion was doing some uh-ohs.
Fair enough. Any comments on Jim Harbaugh?
Hey, man,
This wouldn't affect him coaching in the NFL at all, right?
He's not gonna get touched, bro. Like it's
Right.
sad. It's what it is. But this dude's gonna be the fall guy. Very rightfully so, though. I mean, nasty individual, like gross,
Nasty man.
a creep, bro. But I mean, Harbaugh moved on. He kind of got to wipe his hands. Sharon Moore and them, they're gonna keep getting kicked while they're down for that, and it's eventually gonna blow over. In regard, we may never know how much he actually had to do with this because it's gonna keep just getting pushed down to other people. But yeah, I mean, just knowing that these people were on your staff and probably knowing what they were doing, I mean, everyone creepy and disgusting over there.
All right, bad, nasty men at Michigan. All right, let's take a break. Guardians lose 5 games in a row. They dropped the series opener to the Cubs in Wrigley Field. Jack, what are they going to do? I'll ask you when we get back on the Big Factor. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network. Ryan, Tyler, Jack O'Rourke, Joey Pfaff, Rob Watson, Nick Padone, and the stinky Cleveland Guardians. They drop 5 straight. They lose the series opener to the Chicago Cubs 5-2. Matthew Boyd looking like Cy Young out there. 7 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. Guardians now 40-43. Luckily for them, the rest of the AL Central sucks outside of the Detroit Tigers. But, Jack, a lot of ground and a lot of baseball left if we're going to sneak into that wild card spot.
Before you start, is that how they refer to people? Like, do they call them Cy Young like it's like a noun? Like, if you play good, it's
Like you're a Cy Young contender.
He said he was.
What's the name of the award?
Okay.
Yeah. So that's like a
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, so you did say the one remaining positive with the team would be that the AL sucks. So like you can theoretically compete for that last wild card spot. But you're right, Ryan. Like you're past the point where with anything with the lineup is even like, I mean, relevant to put out. I guess I don't even have a word for it. Like it's just so bad. It's
such
just
a
bad.
shitty, boring.
It's
product.
just bad.
Whoever thought the idea to like transcend guards ball into this monumental motto for the Guardians absolutely did not cook.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. Well,
yesterday.
and we talked about it a couple of days ago, but that just goes back into what guards
like
ball
English
is.
rice and toast.
Like you shouldn't get. I don't know. I don't think you should get a pat on the head for running the bases hard, or I mean, like doing these little things or fielding the ball well when you're getting paid millions of dollars. Like those are like the base level. Like that's
They
like
act
saying,
like
oh, you hustle.
They act like laying down a bunt is like
No.
4D
It's
chess.
like those are skills like every Major League Baseball player should have. You're exactly right. But I mean, you're at the point where I mean, Arias is down, so Rocchio came up. Rocchio still sucks, so you're gonna see Juan Brito in like 2 weeks probably. So I love the prof, but class is gonna be back out of session
Let's
as
get
fast
on
as
your
it came
boy.
back
We can't
in.
be getting picked out at first. Let's talk about
I know.
it, bro.
Yeah,
What
I
are
mean,
we
hey, you
doing,
got an
man?
RBI though, so that's
It's valid, bro,
better than
but
most of
still,
the
like
lineup.
I need more. Like if we're so mid, you can't be doing that.
Yeah,
Only
I
I know.
in the first
I don't think he's going down though, man. I think you're looking at probably Jonathan Rodriguez is for sure going down because if he's not playing against left-handed pitching, then why the fuck is he on the roster, right? Like if he's not in right field when Matthew Boyd's on the mound, then he's never going to play. Like I mean, I know we have a lefty again today, but he's as good as gone. So that's what you have to do for DeLauder, and then. Rob, I'm sorry. I think David Fry's the one who's got to go for CJ
He's cooked, but
Kafis.
he hasn't been doing a thing. And I love the guy, but I really look at it the way you said with how we got so like Manzardo, I watched it. He was trash at first. So then I think he's been a better hitter easily. Like he's been playing the whole season, and Fry hasn't really done anything. And
He also can't field, so you can't do anything else with him.
Santana at first, so you can't. I don't want to see Manzardo over there because that was a shit show. I actually watched it live. It was terrible. So you got to get rid of one of the guys and try to move him for something else. I completely agree.
I mean, it's just the lineup is so bad. And like I don't know how the exact phrasing goes, but it's like the insanity is like watching the same thing over and over again
doing
and
the same thing
expecting
over-
different
Expecting
results,
a
right?
different result,
Like that's like. I just don't know how many days in a row you can put out 7 quad A baseball players and just like hope for like something to change, like just like the stick and like move the needle, do something, you know, like it.
I like that.
There's so many. I don't know, like even like Schneemann sucks too. For being honest, I don't care if his OPS is above 700. Like that's not your answer either. Angie Martinez isn't an answer. Like I don't know. I think it's gonna be Brito, DeLauder, and Kafis probably before the All-Star break, and there's no point in talking about them on the show until we get those 3 guys.
Is the Guardians season over?
No, because of how bad the AL is.
Just all right, but we're trash.
Are we? Well, let me ask you this: are you saying to make the playoffs or to like
Make the playoffs.
do something?
Make the playoffs.
To do something, it's over. To make the playoffs, you can still make the playoffs.
But we're still like, it would just be a get there, and it's like, oh yeah, it's cool.
But that's what it's been since 2016. It's been get there, and I mean,
maybe we
every
win the
guy with
wild
2
card
hands has a fighter's chance,
Being a
right?
Guardians fan is the biggest scam in maybe the history of the world that the Antonettis have pulled off.
This is where I
And
push
Dolan.
back though. At least they like. I get the excitement though when they make it. At least like they're like the fighter's chance. At least I could like cling on to that a little bit versus just being completely hopeless.
No, I mean it's stupid because like even if you make the ALCS, like you find a way around. Like, did they make the ALCS last year? Yes. Were they the second best team in the AL? I would tell you no, probably. But like that's just like the way things bounce. Like I don't think this team like truly was 3 wins away from the World Series. And also like if we're being totally honest with the ALCS, we got our fucking dicks kicked in. Like that was a 5-game series, but like it barely was a 5-game series.
But that
like,
home run was magical.
Yeah, no, the home run was cool. The home run was cool, but like there's so much of this like, oh, but like they kept it close in these games, and like all the games in the ALCS were close. Like, no. You saw the Yankees go play the Dodgers, they got their doors blown out of the water. Like, I mean, they were so far off entering this year in the first place. They got worse in the offseason. They did nothing to address starting pitching. Like you're not getting World Series.
Hear me out though. Yesterday me and Nick both talked about how we have like no memories at Cleveland Browns Stadium, regardless of how far or close you think they were. If you were at that stadium,
I was there. I'll
when
never
David
forget
Fry
it.
hit that walk off and John Kenzie Noel kept the game alive, that's something you're gonna remember. So I'm saying, as a fan, it may be a scam and it may feel like they always leave you short coming, but they're at least giving opportunities for there to be memorable moments and to see winning product, regardless of how ugly it may look. I got to give them credit for that at least.
Yeah, and it's just
Rob,
like,
I'll say this too
at least
about
they have a
making
good
the
front
playoffs.
office, you know.
About making the playoffs, I usually agree with Jack, you know, that just like being in the playoffs isn't good enough, especially when you were in the ALCS last year, like stumbling your way to a wild card. You know, that shouldn't be the goal. But this year, if they stumbled to the wild card, I'd be all right. It would feel like a miracle.
Yeah.
Convincing Guardians fans that the Cleveland Guardians actually have a chance when they get into the postseason to win the World Series is the greatest trick the Devils ever pulled. Shout out to usual suspect.
This team, like, I don't know. I think, like, even throughout April and May when they were struggling, I've compared them a lot to the 2022 Guardians. I don't know exactly where that team was at this point in the year, but I don't think they were crazy far off. That's a team who they probably never fell, like, 10 games back in the AL Central, but, like, they were out of it for a decent portion of the year before just a huge swing in the second half. So, I don't know, but you need to get these kids up ASAP so you can start to learn about something.
Well, buckle up, folks. We're not even All-Star break. It's going to be a long season talking about our Cleveland Guardians. All right, guys, let's take a break. When we get back, I'm going to be honest with you, I have no idea what the hell we're doing. Something with Faf. Jack's can explain when we get back on the Big Factor. All right, Jack. I have no idea what we're doing here. Please explain to the great people.
Yeah, so if you're familiar with the Howard Stern show from back in the day. Actually,
Faf
I'm pretty
our
sure they're still on there.
Beetlejuice? Is Faf our Beetlejuice?
Faf is our Beetlejuice, basically, or the closest thing that we could
so
find to
crazy.
Beetlejuice.
That's so
we're
wild.
combining two Howard Stern games, Dead or Alive, which is just simply, is the person I named dead or alive, and what city are they in for famous landmarks. So we're just going to hop around a little bit here. Joey, you have a couple of phone of friends. They can only go to Rob. Rob's your friend. So let me know what you want to do with that, okay?
Yep, sounds good.
All right. Starting out, Joey, what city in the world is the Chrysler Redeemer statue in?
City.
I know the country. I don't
I know the
the
country
city.
too.
I think I know.
It's in Brazil.
It is.
Don't know the city.
I would assume it's like the most
I know
popular
the
country
city
in
too
Brazil.
when I hear it.
Oh yeah, okay. I do have a guess if you. If
Yeah,
you're lost.
yeah, Rob, go for it.
Let's go with Rio de Janeiro.
Oh yeah.
Bang!
There we go. I got you. Let's go, Faf. There it is.
All right. Dead or alive?
Yep.
Avril Lavigne.
Alive.
Oh, okay, good. I thought we were gonna trick you there a little bit.
There's some
bit.
conspiracies about that.
What? There are. That's why we threw it in there. So do you think Dead or Alive?
No,
do
I'll
you
go
have
alive.
a?
I'm not. I don't got my tinfoil hat on.
Okay.
Hey, give me hip to the conspiracy real quick.
People basically think that I don't know all the details, but Avril Lavigne died a long time ago and she got replaced by a marketing Hollywood clone.
Interesting.
So like the Gucci Mane thing in jail.
It's
type
literally like
thing.
the same conspiracy as DeMar Hamlin.
Okay.
Like
Gotcha.
I'm not saying that's true. I'm just saying that's the conspiracy theory.
Gotcha.
Wait.
I've never heard that one. Okay.
It's complicated.
Landmark.
Ah, I
The
see what
Alamo.
you did there, Nick.
Sorry.
The Alamo.
Yeah, go for it, Rob.
I don't know. I'm
Alright,
looking
I
at
don't-
you.
Throw out a guess,
Alamo,
Faf.
it's somewhere in like
You said what state?
state.
No, city.
City.
Well, you said states were too easy,
You
so
low-key
The
switched it
Alamo?
up. I thought it was
Yeah.
what state is this in?
Texas.
that's a state.
I meant.
GG, bro.
Riveting television.
San Antonio.
Okay, bang.
right?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it right.
Bang.
Joe Biden.
Alive.
Alive? Okay, I wasn't sure if you'd think he was
Hasn't
replaced or not.
missed yet. We see. Yeah.
Okay, last one
another
for you
conspiracy.
for locations. The Space Needle.
Oh, come on, Joe.
Space. No, that's not. That was just a, that was just a joke.
Oh my
Wait,
goodness.
Space Needle? I don't know where that
Joke.
is.
Joey, Sleepless In.
What?
Have you seen the movie Sleepless In?
It's a very popular monument, bro. Come on, man. Or
Rob,
am I
I'm
good?
phoning you.
Seattle.
All right, last one, Tupac.
That was a
Better
reluctant boom.
Bro said Tupac.
Dead.
There you go.
All conspiracy.
You split
theories.
down the middle of right and wrong.
All right, well, that was a hell of a Dead or Alive.
Yeah,
All right,
it
everybody,
wasn't
appreciate
it?
you turning to the big
Scrap
Factor.
that segment.
I'm Brian Seiler. He's Jack O'Rourke. He's Joey Pfaff. He's Rob Watson. He's Nick Padone. Appreciate everybody tuning into the Big Factor. We'll be back tomorrow. Same people, same time. Peace out.
Flop. No.